you're thankful for one more day. You ought to tell God, thank you. Why don't you take a few minutes and begin to tell God, thank you for one more day. Thank you, Lord. I'm there on my cooling board. One more day. Oh, glory to God. Thank you for one more day. I don't know what you come to do, but I come to lift up the name of the Lord. We're at church, so we might as well have church. Is that all right? Somebody in here said, when I think about the goodness of Jesus and all He's done for me, I thank Him for one more day. Glory to God. Glory to God. Didn't have to wake me this morning, but I'm mighty glad He did. Didn't have to put food on my table, but I'm mighty glad He did. I'm thinking about me. I don't know what He done for you, but I can begin to name some things that He done for me. He woke me up this morning. He woke me up this morning. He woke me up this morning. I'm talking about me. He woke me up this morning. He woke me up this morning. He woke me up this morning. Thank you for one more day. Glory to God. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. We might as well have church, y'all. Amen. First, giving all praise to God. Amen. To the honor and the glory of God, who's the head of my life. And I want to thank the great man of this house. Amen. For such kind words. Amen. And I can say myself that I consider you as a friend. And I say that, as the young folks say, keeping it 100. Amen. You know, you have a friend when you don't have to call and tell them how you feel. But because you have spiritual connections. And I'm just so thankful for Pastor Thomas and I was going through a spiritual heartbreak. Amen. The Lord put it in His spirit to give me a phone call. And to let me know that it's going to be all right. So, you may not know how much that phone call meant to me, but it meant a lot. So just keeping me in mind, man, that's what you call a friend. Amen. So, and into the fragrance of this house, and Lady Thomas, you say, beside every good man is a good woman. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As my father eventually told me, being a man of God, he can't preach the way he preached. Amen. The fragrance of the house. Not happy. Amen. So we thank God for the first family, along with his lovely family, his children. It's good to have a pastor, a leader, who reaches the throne of God on your behalf. It's good to have that type of leadership. And when the congregation is sleeping, him and his family are up praying. It's good to be under that kind of leadership. Amen. And someone who can go to the throne of God on your behalf. And so we don't take it lightly. Pastor and fragrance and the family of this house. Amen. And I want to say to my lovely wife, amen. To our daughter, and we have quite a few who traveled with us. Amen. And our deacon board, mother board, ushers. quiet. Amen. Amen. So, King's Temple, we bring you greetings this afternoon from the Mary Bethel Jonestown Church family. And to say that we accept your welcome. And we thank you that you have chosen us, amen, to fellowship with on tonight. We look forward to it in the future. Amen. 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 There is a word from the Lord out of the book of St. Mark Gospel. All right. Amen. Starting at the 5th chapter. All right. With the 25th verse. Amen. The Gospel of Mark, 5th chapter. Starting at the 25th verse. Yes, sir. When you have found it, say amen. Amen. If you're still looking, just say, hold up, wait a minute. Hold up. Amen. I'll be reading King James Version of Mark, 5th chapter, starting at the 25th verse. And a certain woman which had an issue of blood 12 years, had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse. When she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind, and touched his garment. For she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she left in her body that she was healed of that plague. A word from God for the people of God. Amen. I want to this evening use as a subject, I still got it. I still got it. Ushers, you may be seated. I still got it. Yes, sir. All right. If you will allow me to build my case tonight. One of the things that we understand very early is about the way we think. And one of the things that we learn is that the enemy is always after your mind. He wants your mind because if he can get into your mind, then he can get into your life. The thing that I have come to discover is why the enemy is after your mind. It is not your mind he goes after. He's after your mind, but it's not your mind he goes after to get what it is he's after. When you read, for instance, the story of creation, you get what is called the law of first mention. The law of first mention simply says that whenever you want to discover what something really meant or something was really about in the Bible, go back to the first time it was ever mentioned or occurred in the Bible to see what it originally meant or is about. If you go back to the first mention of the enemy in the Bible, you will see how he goes after your mind. All right. The first person that the enemy comes upon in the Bible is Eve. Yes, sir. And I want you to notice how he approaches Eve. She is approached by the serpent, but he does not go after her from an intellectual angle. When the demonic presence comes after her, he comes after her feelings. He tries to make her feel subordinate to God. Feels like she was less than God. You have to be careful that you don't allow your feelings to get too hurt, because the enemy will mess with your feelings that will bring you to the place of depression, to the place of frustration, to the place of anxiety, and to stress. And your feelings then will start to dictate your mind. Can I build my case this morning? And so you begin to think a certain way because you feel a certain way. That's why the devil goes after the stuff that we value, because we put feelings in things that we value. So that if he can mess with what I value, he can mess with how I feel. And if he can mess with how I feel, then he can mess with my mind. And he can mess with my life. So that when he messes with my life, it causes me to fall in sin. And when you fall into sin, it becomes a feeling of yours. You weren't thinking about the feeling when you fell into sin, but you was trying to feel something. I sin because of how it makes me feel. If sin didn't feel so good, then it wouldn't be a problem for you and for I. I tried to live right. I tried to live holy. I tried to do the right thing, but the problem is you know how to sin, and you know how to sin real good. I just want to build this case on tonight, and that's all right. That's why tonight you have to master your emotions, so that the things that make you feel a certain way don't bother you anymore. When people used to talk about you, you stayed up all night trying to fix how they feel about you. But now that your mind is in the right place and your mind is on the right track, you don't care what folks think about you, because your feelings don't dictate how you feel. You don't care what folks say about you. You don't care how folks think about you. See, the one reason God is not looking for a feeling church, God is looking for a thinking church. Because if you regulate your relationship with God based on your feelings, then you will only shout when you feel like shouting. You know how we get. You know how we get. I ain't gonna shout because I don't feel like shouting. I had a bad week, so I ain't gonna shout. I'll shout this time because I had a good week. You feel like giving God the glory because you have a little money in the bank. You know how it is when you begin to feel. But I've learned that if the devil is going to mess with my feelings, I won't let him mess with my will. I will bless the Lord. Come on and help me preach it tonight. If your mind is over your feelings and your mind is in the right place, even when you don't like feeling God the glory, you wake up in the morning and say, this is the day that the Lord has made. When your mind is in the right place, you wake up and tell the Lord, thank you for waking me this morning. I laid down with issues last night, but I woke up with a new mind. That God has been good to me. Do I have any witnesses in here? And so your mind is very critical in how you think. You don't connect your mind to your feelings, but you're able to disconnect your mind from your feelings. And your feelings may tell you, don't give God the praise. But you woke up saying, I will praise the Lord. You didn't wake up wondering how much money you had in the bank. You didn't wake up trying to see what the stocks were doing. But somebody woke up and said, is there a word from the Lord? It's all about your mind. Touch your neighbor and say, don't begin to let your mind cause you, don't let your feelings cause your mind not to think right. Don't let your feelings get involved in how your mind is thinking. Because if you start to think about it, you will start feeling about it. And if I feel it, I will give God some glory. It's all about your mind, because when your mind is straight, you can handle the stuff that you never thought that you can handle. Can I get a witness in here? When your mind is in the right place, You know how to give God some praise. But when your feelings get involved, you allow it to play with your mind. And when your feelings get messed up, it causes your mind to be crowded. You know a crowded mind, you stop at the green light and you go at the red light. You know a clouded mind when God has blessed you with food in the refrigerator, but you're complaining because you don't have a steak to eat. You can't allow your feelings to mess up your mind. It's critical to understand that. Because here we find a woman that if health care was back then, she would not qualify. She would not qualify because she had a pre-existing condition. The text says that by the time we meet her, she already had an issue for 12 long years. And by the time we are introduced to her, and by the time that she gets to Jesus, she has already had this issue for 12 long years. She's been bleeding for 12 years before we find out anything about this woman. Now, can I tell you something? There's somebody right on your row that's been bleeding and dealing with some stuff this year that's been messing with your life. I want to talk to somebody. Somebody been bleeding through some situations that almost took you out. Can I talk to somebody? Somebody's been bleeding through some situations that made you want to commit suicide. I want to talk to somebody that's been bleeding tonight through a situation that made you still feel like you were losing your joy. But you realize that this joy that I have, the world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. Somebody ought to shout amen. And so now, this woman, she has a condition which is in a place that nobody can see. What do you do when folks look at you and you look like you have it all together? I want to talk to some real saints in here tonight. You have a condition that folks can't see. They look at you and they think that you have it all together. If there anybody in here can say, I get sick and tired of people that try to judge me by the way I look, think I don't have any problems of my own, but I have problems in places that I just can't talk about. Can I get a witness? Don't look at how I look and think that I don't have any problems. Don't look at how I look and think that I don't need my money because I don't look broke. Don't look at how I think and how I feel thinking my life is all peaches and cream because I don't talk about my issues to you. Come on and help me preach it tonight. Is there anybody in here you're struggling through some situations that you can't tell nobody because you don't know who's praying for you or who's praying on you? Who's praying on you? You know the P-R-E-Y-I-N-G. You got folks that'll pray for you, but you also have folks who will pray on you. That's why you gotta watch who you pull into your circle. That's why you gotta watch the people that you hang around. Because there are some people that's beside you that will further aid and aid against your depression. Or there's somebody that'll come who's not a problem of your situation, that'll speak a word from the Lord. You got problems in areas that you just can't talk about. And so this woman issue is covered. And nobody knows what she's dealing with. She can't tell her family members. She can't tell her preacher. She can't tell her friends. She can't tell family because sometimes family are the worst ones that you can share your issues with. Ouch, ouch. But the truth hurts. She can't tell called the preacher because she prayed all the prayers and she read all the scriptures. I don't know, have you ever had an issue that you were so down that you didn't want to hear another prayer? You didn't want to hear another scripture. She couldn't tell her friends because she knew that it was nothing they can do. Having to deal with this problem in reality where it looks like I got it together, I'm a public success. Everybody's depending on me thinking I'm a public success. I'm helping everybody else. I'm a public success, but really I'm a private failure. She's bleeding, and remember that in the Bible days, blood represents life. So for 12 years she had a condition that was taking the life out of her. Can I talk to somebody? Been dealing with an issue so long that it feels like it almost have you in the grave. If there anybody know what I'm talking about, problem after problem seems like you have it in the grave. That's why you have to be careful how you judge people simply on what you know and simply on what you think, because they act a certain way, because you think you know everything about them. They act a certain way because you think you know their struggles. They've gone through some struggles for many years, and so many years of pain in their life. Some years of difficulty in their lives, had some obstacles that they went through before they met you. Can I talk to somebody in here? Had some issues they went through before they met you. That's why they shout the way they shout, because of some issues before they met you. That's why they are faithful to the church from years that you don't know about that they went through. Maybe that's why the reason they cry sometimes, because of some issues they went through before they met you. Maybe that's why they still love you, because of some issues they had before they met you. But when they woke up this morning, they discovered that God gave me another chance. Can I give a witness? How many of you know God gave you another chance? I'm talking about you are laying in the hospital, but God gave you another chance. This woman had a pre-existing condition. She had to pay for every doctor out of her own pocket. She spent all that she had nothing left, and was worse than when she started. Dealing with men who took everything that she had, making it without trying to make herself better. Dealing with folks, every time she gave, it seemed like she got worse. Dealing with folks who should have helped her, but nothing made her better. Every time you try to make one step, you get knocked back 2 steps. Every time you try to make improvements in your life, you get knocked back down. Every time you try to get away from negative people, every time you try to focus on your spiritual life, it seems like things get worse before they get better. Can I get a witness in here? You're dealing with what you're dealing with because of the longevity of your situation. The psychiatrist begin to tell you that you should have lost your mind. But because of who you are, and because of who you are, you said, I have faith. And I rose to ask somebody, do you still have it? Do you still have the faith? I know you called all the lawyers you can call. I know you done called all the doctors you can call. But do you still have it? Do you still have faith? The faith the size of a mustard seed. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, I've been through hell and I've been through high water, but I still got it. I got the faith to get to Jesus. I got the faith to get to the Lord and say, though you slay me, yet will I trust in him. I feel like preaching. I preach the way I feel. She had faith, and she pressed her way through. She couldn't touch his shoulder because she was so down, but she had faith. She didn't have the centurion faith, and the centurion didn't have her faith, because the centurion, his faith was, Jesus, you don't have to come to my house, but all you got to do is speak a word, and that word will come down. Martin Luther King, and come down to this church, and I'll come in that door, and I'll come right to your bench, and knows who to bless. She didn't have the centurion faith, and he didn't have her faith. She didn't have the impotent man faith that said, I will be made whole, but she had her faith. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, I don't have your faith, and you don't have my faith, but do you got it? Do you still got faith? I got faith. Touch. I want to talk to somebody. She didn't have the Syrophoenician woman faith that put Jesus in heaven and said, thou son of David, wilt thou come and break the devil off my child? The Syrophoenician woman, she put him in heaven, and then she put him in hell to break the vex off of her child. And the disciples wanted to send her away. Do you still have the faith when church folks want to send you away and say, I'm not going to move, but I'll lift him up until he blesses me. I'll give him the praise until he blesses me. Can I talk to somebody? She had faith, and she said, if I could press my way through to my blessing, I could touch the hem of his garment. Why is her faith the hem of his garment? Because the hem is where the healing is. When they poured oil on the priest, it ran down his faith and down his clothes, and it rested in the hem, and she touched the hem of his garment. Do you have it? Do you still have faith? Do you have it? I still got the faith. And when she had the faith, she touched his garment, and she was made whole. Because of her faith, she had been qualified. Because of her faith, she had been approved. Can I tell you about approved? I went to the Pollock to buy a brand new car, and it had on it approved for 100,000 miles. How did they get it? Did they guess? The answer is no. They drove it through the storm. They drove it through the rain. They drove it down in the valley, and they brought it in, and they broke it down, and they put it back together. They drove it through the crash test with the dummies bouncing around in it, and they pulled it back in and broke it down, and they checked the oil, they checked the spark plugs, they put it back together, and they stamped it approved. Well, I've been through the storm, I've been through the rain, I've been in the valley, I've been on the mountain, I've been broken down, but Devil tried to steal my joy, but the joy I have. Devil tried to steal my mind, but my mind is in perfect peace because my mind stayed on the Lord. Do you still have it? I still got faith. This woman with the issue, even though she had messed up and went to the wrong people, she heard about Jesus. She didn't let how she had messed up, went into the wrong people, stop her from getting her blessing. Thank you, Lord. I still got it. I've had some scars, but I still got faith. Yeah. I've had some setbacks, but I still got faith. This woman was healed. She heard Jesus was coming by, so she took what she heard and mixed it with what she believed. I heard we're going into 2020. And it's going to be a good year. I'm going to mix what I've heard with what I believe, because I know Jesus is the author and the finisher of my faith. Somebody in here bled all last year with some issues, but you pressed your way through. The woman with the issue of blood, she pressed before she got the miracle. Press your way through. Do you still have faith? Do you still have faith? Keep on pressing. Touch your neighbor and say, keep on